What's up everyone, it's Bones here. In today's video, I'll be featuring Spyral's Post a New List, but before I begin, if you could happen to click on those thumbs up and subscribe buttons, it would be greatly appreciated as it goes a long way in supporting the channel and shows me that you like content like this. Clicking on those notification bells would also mean a lot as they notify you when I upload on the channel. To start, I'd like to begin by saying that the quick fix doesn't provide as much of a quick fix for the deck as you think it might, especially because Master Plan is still banned, and because it's still banned, we're not able to access the streamlined plays that we would be able to, amassing advantage by getting these searchable traps off of Master Plan and then getting revivals off them, while it's easier to also get advantage with just two Spyral monsters with Master Plan than it is without. So we're going to go into our Linkuriboh and the double helix, as we'll then be able to bring back the quick fix. We'll start our spamming as we're going to get a search for the drones and then use the quick fix again in our graveyard. We'll be able to get a search off of it as we're going to get the drones, and then from here we can go into our recital, as we'll use the recital Starlings effect in order to pump up the double helix to 2500, and then we can detach one in order to search a crow, and then from here we can activate a quick fix in our graveyard in order to pitch the drones, get the search effect on field, as we'll be able to add another copy of Big Red, use another quick fix in the graveyard to bring another copy of quick fix back, and then from here we can get ourselves the utility wire off of it. And now from here we'll go into the second copy of Recital Starling, as we'll get ourselves another 600 attack boost on the double helix, and you could do this on the Linkuriboh depending on the board that you're going to make. We're going to then add ourselves the crow, and then from here we can go into our Utopic Future Dragon, as we'll give ourselves a monster negation before going deeper into our plays, as we're going to bring back the quick fix again, activate the Big Red, and I do want you to keep in mind I'm not playing 3 Big Red. If you did play 3 Big Red, you would have an extra search target and a discard, but it really depends on what you want to play, as we'll be able to revive the drones here, and then from here we can get ourselves the ability to use the double helix without having to worry what is on our opponent's top deck, as we can rearrange it with the drones. So from here we'll use the double helix in order to get ourselves the addition of Sleeper, and then from here we can use the quick fix, pitching the second copy of Crow, as we'll be able to go into our Barricade Borg Blocker, and then from here we can link away into our Appaloosa, as we'll then be able to banish 3 for our Sleeper, patch or equip the Last Resort to the Sleeper, set our utility wire, and we can end our first board on this. Now for the second combo, and it's going to be a more traditional style, the same 2 cards. As you see, we're just going to be using quick fix and machine duplication. With how much special summoning you get off it, there is quite a lot of things you can do, but I want to stick with the combos that are closer to this specific list, because otherwise I feel like the video would be all over the place. Then from here we're then going to get ourselves the 2 searches off of the quick fixes, as we'll be able to get ourselves the Big Red and the Last Resort. And now from here we'll go into the Linkuriboh, go into our double helix, use the quick fix in our graveyard, as we'll be able to bring it back, use its effect in order to get a search for the drones, as we'll then be able to use the Big Red, bring back the drones, rearrange the top 3 from our opponent's deck, as we'll use the double helix now, and this will be able to get us a copy of the Sleeper. And then from here we can go into our second copy of quick fix by pitching a drones, and then from here we'll use the quick fix in order to get another copy of Big Red, as we'll then be able to go into the Recital Starling, use its effect, as we'll pump up the helix to 2500, use its effect in order to search for a crow, and then from here we can use the quick fix in our graveyard to revive itself, use its effect on board in order to get another copy of drones, use the quick fix to pitch the drones, and then from here we can get another search off the quick fix, as we're going to get the utility wire, and then we'll go into a second Recital Starling, as we'll be able to pump up the double helix again, get a search off of the Recital Starling for a DD Crow, as we'll be able to pitch the DD Crow for a quick fix, and then from here we can go into the Trigate Wizard, as we'll be able to now go into a copy of double helix again, so that we have a super agent on board, so that we can use our quick fix again. And now we can go into our Nightmare Phoenix in order to co-link our Trigate to 3 total, and then we can bring out our Sleeper, set the utility wire along with equipping the Last Resort to the Sleeper in order to round out our end board. For the second combo, we'll be starting with drones and machine dupe, and I want to show what happens with the second machine monster you play for machine dupe, as it does have a little bit less of a ceiling since we don't have the Master Plan. And do keep in mind that with the 3 copies of quick fix, there are stuff that you can do, but you do need more cards in hand in order to do that. So we're going to use our drones multiple times because I thought we were activating quick fix, and then from here we're going to go into our Linkuriboh, go into into the double helix, use the double helix in order to bring out a copy of Quick Fix, as we'll be able to use the Quick Fix effect, and then from here we can get ourselves the big red, as we'll then go into the barricade board blocker, use our big red in order to bring back the Quick Fix, and then from here we can use the Quick Fix effect, as we'll chain the link Karibo, and then from here we can get the search for the big red, as we'll be able to use the Quick Fix again in order to special summon itself, use its effect to search in order to get a utility wire. We'll link away into the Appaloosa, and then we can set the utility wire to round out our end board. Now for this next combo, we finally won't be using Machine Dupe, and this is an old 2-card combo that was able to do much more when we had Master Plan, but I still think it's worth showing, especially for the next combo, as I'm going to special summon out the Super Agent, as we got to rearrange the top 3 from our opponent's deck with drones. We'll go into the double helix, and then from here we can bring out the Quick Fix from our deck, as we'll be able to get a search for the big red, I believe, and you basically just want to search whatever helps you extend more so that you can continue to link climb. From here we can bring back the Quick Fix off the big red, as we'll be able to get a search for the drones, and then from here we can go into our barricade board blocker, and then go into the Avramax. So again, it's not a lot. There is a couple of things that you can do, like making an Appaloosa, or just making an IP Masquerena plus something else, but it really depends on what your build looks like. You are limited by the fact we don't have Master Plan. Now for this next combo, and when you do have Quick Fix with the drone and the agent, you're capable of a lot more, as you'll see momentarily, as we're going to use the Super Agent in order to get the access into our double helix, and then from here we can use the double helix, which will get us access into another copy of Quick Fix. So from here we have 2 copies of Quick Fix in rotation with the ability to extend as we search ourselves a big red, and now we're going to go into our link Karibo, use the effect of the Quick Fix, pitching the Quick Fix, and then from here we can use the effect of the Quick Fix, getting ourselves the drones, as we'll activate the big red, bring back the Quick Fix, and then from here we can get ourselves another search, as we'll get the last resort, and then from here we can go into our recital, use the effect of recital, as we'll pump up the double helix, and then from here we can use the effect of the Starling in order to get ourselves the DD Crow, and now we can use the Quick Fix, pitching the drones in order to get another search along with the special summon, and then we'll get ourselves another copy of drones, as we're going to go into our barricade board blocker, bring back another copy of Quick Fix, as we'll be able to get a search here as well. We'll get the other copy of Big Red, as we'll then be able to go into another copy of Recital Starling, as we'll get ourselves another copy of Crow, along with being able to boost the double helix again, and then from here we can get the Quick Fix effect in order to pitch the Big Red, get the effect to search again, as this time we get the utility wire, and then from here we're going to link away into the Appaloosa, as we can equip the last resort onto the double helix for protection, set the utility wire, and end on the utility wire plus the 3 monster negates and the 2 DD Crows in hand. Now for the final combo before the test hands, and this one is a little bit more unique, as you're able to build upon your board depending on what you draw. So I want you to keep in mind that I won't be discarding the cards that I draw off of Quick Fix, since they're just RNG. It kind of also shows that even if your souls gets ashed or impermed, it doesn't really matter. The only thing that truly stops this hand is Nibiru or Droll. Dark Ruler no more hurts. We're going to use our Illusion of Chaos in order to search ourselves our souls, and then from here we can use the souls in order to send the Illusion of Chaos, special summon itself out, as we're going to be able to use the effect of souls. We'll send the equip along with the assault in our hand in order to get a draw 2, and then from here we can use the effect of the barricade in order to pitch the drones, get it to the graveyard, as we'll then be able to revive it with the assault, and then from there we can use the effect of the drones, as we'll be able to go into our double helix, use the effect of the double helix, as we'll then be able to get ourselves a special summon for another copy of Quick Fix. We'll be able to get a search here for the drones, as we'll then use the Link Karibo in order to get the extra body, use the effect of the Quick Fix in our graveyard, and I meant the extra name, not the body for the Link Karibo, but we'll then be able to add ourselves the drones, we'll bring back our Quick Fix, as we'll then be able to get another search, as we're then going to be able to get ourselves the Recital Starling, and then from here we're going to pump up the double helix to 2500, use the effect of the Starling for a Crow, as we'll then be able to link into an Appaloosa. We'll then be able to bring back a quick fix as we're going to pitch the big red, use the effect of the quick fix as we'll get ourselves the utility wire, and then from here we can use the effect of the quick fix in order to bring itself back. We'll then be able to get a search for the last resort, as we'll then be able to go into the recital Starling. From here you can pump up the Appaloosa or the double helix, doesn't matter which one, but we'll then be able to get the DD Crow to our hand, as we'll then be able to use the quick fix again, and you do this just to get your Link Karibo back on your opponent's turn, so that you can prevent an attack if they do try to get over something. You can also put the recital Starling to attack position, since all battle damage you take from battles involving this Exceed Summon card is also inflicted to your opponent. This depends on what you want to do. So we're then going to set the utility wire, equip the last resort to the double helix, and then we can pass on that. Now onto the test hands, and the first one is a pretty crazy one. As you see, we got access to the quick fix plus the machine dupe, but we also got the Spyral resort and the big red to give us a couple of more extenders. So from here we're going to activate the resort, as we'll be able to get our super agent, activate the machine dupe, and you want to use the quick fix first in order to assure that you can get your big red or whatever search you may need. In this particular hand I probably could have started with the Spyral resort, but at that point not being able to resolve your quick fix upon normal summon kind of hurts. So we're then going to be able to use the 2 quick fix on board, as we're going to get ourselves a couple of searches, and then from here we're going to go into our Link Karibo, go into our double helix, use our quick fix in the graveyard, as now we can start our quick fix spam, and we're going to get ourselves a search for a drones, as we'll activate the big red, bring back a drones, as we'll then be able to rearrange the top 3, use the double helix, and then from here we can get ourselves the special summon or the add of the sleeper, and then from here we'll use the quick fix in order to bring itself back, as we'll get another search, and then from here we can get another drones. As you'll see, we're going to go into the recital Starling, and then from here we can target the Link Karibo, as we'll use its effect in order to get us the Crow, and then from here we're going to use the quick fix, pitch the drones, as we can now use the quick fix in order to get a search for the utility wire, use the quick fix in order to pitch the big red, as we'll then be able to get another Exceed Summon for the recital Starling, and this will give us access into the Utopic Future Dragon, as well as we're going to get a search for another DD Crow, and then from here we're going to go into the Utopic Future Dragon, as we're going to activate the quick fix now, and then we're going to bring out our super agent, since we know what's on our opponent's top deck, and then from here we can go into our Trigate Wizard, as we'll use our quick fix in order to pitch a Crow, bring itself back, go into another copy of double helix so that we have a super agent, bring back the quick fix from our graveyard, and then go into the Nightmare Phoenix, as now we can bring back our sleeper, or bring out our sleeper, equip the last resort, and then set the utility wire, and this will round out the end board. Now for the final combo/test hand, and we'll be starting with Spyral Drone. Whenever you have quick fix plus the resort in hand and the Spyral Drones, it's similar to the previous combo where you saw we had the quick fix along with the super agent and the drones, where the resort can just become the super agent. This will get you into combo, but the big difference here is that we have the rescue in hand. I called it assault before, I don't know why I called it assault, it's actually rescue, but we're going to bring back the quick fix, as we're going to use its effect in order to get ourselves the big red. Then we're going to go into our Link Karibo, bring back the quick fix, then from here we can use the effect of quick fix, get ourselves a search for the last resort, as we'll be able to go into our board blocker, use the effect of our quick fix in order to bring it back, get another search off of it, as we'll get ourselves another copy of drones, use the quick fix, pitch the rescue, as we can now get another search off the quick fix, and we'll get the big red off of that, as we're going to go into our recital Starling now, use its effect in order to get the pump up of the attack for the double helix, which will raise it to 2500, and then from here we'll get ourselves a Crow, as we'll be able to start quick fix spamming again, use its effect in order to get a search for the utility wire, use the effect of the rescue in order to get back the drones, and now we'll go into another copy of recital Starling, pump up our double helix again, as we'll be able to get ourselves another copy of Crow, and then from here we can go into our Utopic Future Dragon again in order to give ourselves the monster negation plus the protection, but we'll then be able to use our double helix or the quick fix again, as we'll bring back the Link Karibo, and we want to do that for the different name, as we're going to bring back another quick fix, and then we can go into our Appaloosa. And now from here we can activate the last resort on the double helix, and then set the utility wire, and be able to end with a couple of hand traps as well. With all of the combos out of the way, we can finally get onto the deck profile, and I made this build a little bit more pure than what it used to be now that we have the 3 quick fix with the machine dupe at full force now with the 3 drones and everything. These cards used to be at 1, the drones and the quick fix, which made building the deck a lot more interesting to say the least, as you see all these cards here were engines that used to be used in order to fill up for the lost space that we didn't have, the banning of Master Plan, the limit of quick fix, the limit of drones, which came back a little bit before the quick fix did. The even Spyral Resort was limited at one point as well. With all of these cards back, I do feel that playing the engines are a little bit overboard, as I do feel number 41 is probably a valid option for this deck though. Being able to bring out a super agent with ease, and having the tough in order to reveal what your opponent's top card is so that you can assure your super agent goes through and get you into an easy number 41 that can be strong against Kashtira, which is important to note. Outside of that, I'd like to think that everything is pretty standard for a Spyral list. I'm maxing out on all the important Spyral cards, Machine Tube kind of being a Spyral card here, the 2/2 on the Soul's Illusion of Chaos ratio, in order to make sure that we can discard these and get some free special summons. You're also able to send your Spyral Resort along with your Big Red in order to get draws off of it as well, so the synergy is just great with Souls and Spirals, which is another reason why I prefer the pure version of the deck. Anyways, with all of that out of the way, I'm just going to get onto the card by card, and we have the 3 quick fix, the 3 machine dupe, the 3 drones, the 3 super agent, the Rhoda, terraforming, the 2 illusion of chaos, the 1 assault, 3 rescue, the 2 souls, the 3 Spyral Resort, the 2 Big Red, the 1 Utility Wire, Sleeper, Last Resort, Tough, 2 Talents, 1 Thrust, 3 Crow for the Recital Starlings, and then the 3 Ash Blossoms to round out the main deck. Onto the extra deck, we have the copy of Avramax, Appaloosa, Trigate Wizard, Nightmare Unicorn, Nightmare Phoenix, Blocker, the 2 Helix, 1 Link Karibo, Zeus, Honored Magician, the 2 Recital Starlings, and the Utopia Future package. But anyways, if you made it this far into the video, I thank you so much for watching and I hope you enjoyed. If you have any suggestions, feel free to leave them down below. Bones, signing out.